You're listening to The Ride to Work with Pastor Fred. Fuel for your faith before you clock in. Enjoy the ride.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining us today for The Ride to Work. Yes, we are on Overwhelmed Week, the series Overwhelmed. And we talked about being overwhelmed by responsibility on Monday. Tuesday upon yesterday, man, we talked about being overwhelmed by our emotions. And today is only right. It's only right for us to talk about being overwhelmed by expectations. Expectations. Our character reference is identity. Identity. Listen, because one of the heaviest, and I'm going to say it again, one of the heaviest burdens you will ever carry, it's not what God asked of you, it's what people expect from you. Man, I got to start out hot like that. Family expectations, cultural expectations. Come on, social expectations, personal expectations. It's hard. That's a heavy burden to carry. And look, somewhere between trying to meet everybody's standard, you forget who you are. Because you're trying to be everything everybody else wants and needs you to be. You forget your identity. Listen, first thing out the box, stop living for approval. Stop living for approval. That's addictive. You know that? Approval is addictive because it makes you feel like you're seen. You're noticed. You understand what I'm saying? That's what it makes you feel like. But you got to understand, approval is unstable sometimes. It's unstable because it changes depending on who's watching you. Do you hear me? You'll exhaust yourself trying to become what everybody else wants you to be. You'll exhaust yourself. And they'll put it on you. They'll say it. I thought you were this. I thought you were that. I don't know. I just expected you to do this. I guess I just expected you to behave this way. I expected you to do this for me. I expected you to move this. Man, come on. Come on. You'll exhaust yourself trying to do that. And what'll happen is you'll lose who you actually are. Because everybody will be pulling at you. Everybody will be heaping all types of expectations on you. And what happens when you don't fulfill what they expect? Oh, man. Now disappointment sets in. It sets in. And especially if it's people that you care about and you're concerned about how they feel about you. Again, approval. Because you seem to want their approval. Why are we seeking approval from people? Who at any moment in time can disapprove us or disapprove of us. Why are we putting that much weight? Why are we putting that much confidence? Why are we putting that much authority in their hands? It's kind of like, watch this. To me, it's like it was a beggar in the Bible. Beggar in the Bible. He was blind. Bartimaeus. Beggar in the Bible. I want to say this. I just want to throw this story in here real quick before we keep moving. But it's applicable. Trust me. And a beggar. And I don't even have to use Bartimaeus. Matter of fact, I use anybody that you see on the street that's out there that's begging, panhandling, all of that, whatever you want to call it. And that individual, every morning they wake up, their day or how their day goes is determined by somebody else who will give unto them to make their day better. It's determined. That person that's begging gives in such a way, gives authority to the person that they're requesting something from. Uh, and they just hope they have their approval enough to give them something to just get a meal for the day, get a room for the night, whatever. And I had to say that because it's just like we giving people so much authority to just see how our day's going to be. If somebody says something cross or crass to us, or we failed to come through for somebody who heaped unfair expectations on us or whatever, and then they start talking about you. They start saying this or that. Oh, I asked them to do this, or I asked him to do that. I asked her to do this or whatever. She couldn't even do that for me. And now that done messed up your whole day because you know you don't have their approval because you couldn't do what they expected you to do, even though it was an unfair expectation. I know what I'm talking about. Because you want that approval, because it makes you feel like you are seen. But you lose who you are. Huh? If you're still trying to please people, watch this. Paul said it best. If I'm still trying to please people, I wouldn't be a servant of Christ, because a lot of folk want me to turn and walk away. A lot of folk think I'm crazy for talking like I'm talking. Huh? You hear what I'm saying? That's what Paul said in Galatians, I think in the first chapter or something like that. But listen, you cannot become who you're called to be while performing who others expect you to be. You can't. You can't do it. So you have to make the determination, do I want to be me? Do I want to be me? Or do I want to be everybody else's me? Hmm? Second thing I need you to understand, look, know who you are. Know who you are. Identity is protection. Know who you are. You know why I say that? Because when you know who you are, you stop auditioning for validation. Auditions are over. I don't care how you feel about me. Uh, you don't validate me. If I couldn't do what you asked me to do, your bad opinion of me or your bad words to me still don't validate me. It's just like with God. If God don't do what you asked him to do, it does not say that he's still not able. He just didn't do it for you at that time. So you can't let others' opinions of you based off of your lack or your failure, should I say, to not do or come through like they think you should come through for them, make you feel any kind of way at all. Know who you are. You know who you are. And therefore, you know the reasons why you didn't fulfill their expectations. Huh? Know who you are. Mm? Just like a tree. A tree that's planted, it got roots or whatever. A tree don't panic because the wind blows, the wind changes directions. Because they know who they are. Their identity is anchored. Anchor your identity. Put your roots down and stand firm. I don't care what wind or what wave blows. Huh? I don't care what wave of controversy, what wave of conflict, what wind of criticism, what wind of backbiting, what wind of name calling, what wind of talking behind your back, what wind of betrayal, what wind of no respect or disrespect. Anchor your identity. Anchor it, because identity removes the pressure of comparison. It takes it away. Know who you are. Know who you are. Last thing I want to tell you, look, accept your season. I just had to say that right out because, man, that's a that's a good one there. That's a good one there. Accept your season. Mm? Some of you, your feeling of being overwhelmed comes from trying to rush the process God is trying to develop. And he's developing in his own time. But you're trying to rush the process. Accept your season and accept the fact that sometimes, listen, I had to tell somebody this because things weren't happening for them. The ship wasn't coming in. They were having issues on the job, issues at home. kids was acting crazy or whatever, and supervisors looking at them strange, and they don't know from one moment to the next, and they kept trying and they kept trying, and I had to tell them, look, sometimes it's just not your season. So in essence, what I'm telling you is accept your season, or more so, accept the season that you're in, because it might not be the best season for you. But you know what? Seasons change. They change. When you plant a seed and that seed is underground, hear me when I say this, man. Hear me when I say this. It does not panic. That seed don't panic because it can't see sunlight. It's dark, it's damp. Because the seed understands and trusts the process of growth. It does. You have to know that your season is not punishment, it's preparation. That's what it is. Stop looking for validation and heaping all these undue expectations from other people on yourself. You can't fulfill it all. You can't please everybody. Huh? Man, I want you to hear me this morning. Listen, you got to stop living for approval. You got to know who you are, and you got to accept your season. Remember those three things. Remember those three things. Please. Please. When you're feeling overwhelmed by expectations, just remember those three things. Thank you so much. Stop right there. Thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday, right smack dab in the middle of it, as I always say. We will be riding again, heading towards the end of the week. It's what they call America's Independence Day. Woohoo! Man, if you just knew the truth behind all of that stuff. But anyway, God bless you. God keep you. We'll see you tomorrow.